Hi my loves, and welcome back to my channel. I feel really stoked today. I don't know what it is about the energy, but as I'm filming this, it's September 1st and I love this time of year. Even though this is a strange year, it still feels fresh and new, like a new beginning. And I wanted to take the opportunity today to talk about 5 qualities that I think are really important to live a satisfying, happy, present, and conscious life. I think these are so important that I actually created an online program based on these 5 qualities called the inner shift, or in Swedish, the inre skiftet. If you want to join that program, you are so welcome to do so, and you can find all the info down below. So the qualities that I wanted to address today are gratitude, acceptance, faith or trust, self-compassion, and joy/pleasure. And I call this the inner shift because I think a lot of us spend too much of our lives being in the opposite of these qualities. Instead of being in gratitude, we are in the negativity bias. Instead of being in acceptance, we are resisting reality. Instead of trusting, we are trying to control things. Instead of having self-compassion, we are relying way too much and listening too much on our inner critic. And instead of pleasure and joy being a huge part of our lives, we are so serious and take things so seriously, even when we don't need to. I definitely don't think that the inner shift is something that you do once and then you're done. These are all qualities that you need to practice, keep practicing, just like any muscle. It's not that you do a gratitude practice for a month and then you're set for life, or that you practice accepting a certain situation and then you don't need to think about acceptance ever again. Of course, these are things that we need to remember and cultivate and deepen and work on for as long as we live. So I'm actually doing the inner shift, or the inre skiftet myself this month, just because I need a refill too. I need to be reminded of the importance of gratitude, of acceptance, of trust, of self-compassion, and of joy. And I would love if you wanted to join me over at Instagram. Some of it will be in English and some in Swedish. I hope you don't mind. So how do we do this, the inner shift? Well, I absolutely think that it's a daily practice. It's baby steps, but baby step after baby step. Because when you do small shifts every day over time, the shift will be so big, and you can do this. So the simple setup of this inner shift in the program, which you can do outside of the program, you don't need the program if you don't want that kind of support. The setup is quite simple. You start by reflecting on these 5 qualities. You learn more about them and you figure out how they would manifest in your own life. And then you take one quality at a time and you work on it daily. I do it through daily meditations on the subject that I'm working on, and then daily reflections, maybe also practice. For example, if you want to grow your gratitude muscle, you do a gratitude practice, or many gratitude practices. But I think the main thing is to keep it simple and to work on the baby steps, knowing that with time, baby steps turn into giant leaps, and you will have shifted your inner life. And when you have shifted your inner life, your outer world will also transform. Because you attract what you are, and you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. And you've heard me talk about neuroplasticity here on before. It's the fact that we can actually rewire our brains, because neurons that fire together, wire together. So with these baby steps every day, you will fire neurons that you want to wire together. And with time, the autobahn that might be worry or stress or control or negativity bias or your inner critic or seriousness that is your default state today will grow over, and you will no longer go on that highway. And what might be a jungle path today of your gratitude, your acceptance, your trust, your self-compassion, or your joy, the more you go on that path, the more you trek your jungle path, the more open it will get. And after a while, you will be able to take the bike down that dirt road that used to be a jungle path, because you will have rebuilt your brain, and the neurons that you will have every day fired will be wired together, and you will have a completely new structure in your mind. And that's the cool thing. We can change in so many ways. By deliberate action, by clear intentions, and by treating ourselves the way we want to be treated, by thinking the thoughts that we want to cultivate, by choosing the actions that are good for us, and by being the people that we want to see more of in the world. I'm so stoked about the inner shift. It's been open for 2 months. I opened it first time on July 1st, and it's so cool to follow the people that are already in the program and seeing their inner shifts, because this works. And the simplicity of it is that you do the small things every day. This is not a huge thing to overcome. You might need to work on some resistance, and there's support for that as well if you want to join the program, of course. But as long as your intention is clear and you are willing to make the inner shift, you can. And I want to be clear on one thing. I have a hidden agenda when it comes to this, because I know that when you have cultivated these practices in your life, and when you feel filled up from your own self-love, and when you are no longer resisting the world as it looks in front of you right now, when you have trust in your own capacity to build the future that you want to see, and also that you are carried through this world, when you have your gratitude glasses on, and when you choose joy in your daily life, you are the change agent that we need. My hidden agenda is for us, all of us, including myself, to do the inner shift so that we can go out into the world and be the forces of love that we need to be, so that we can consistently choose love over fear, so that we can be present and conscious enough to make the loving choices, to forgive others, to be creative with our choices, to make the changes that need to be made. As I said, you don't need to buy the program. That's not what I'm here to promote. I just want to let you know that it exists, but mostly I want to remind you that you can make this change. You can make the inner shift if you want to. You can choose gratitude over negativity. You can choose acceptance over resistance. You can choose trust over worry or control. You can choose self-compassion over self-criticism. And you can choose joy and pleasure over seriousness and self-deprivation. Because you deserve to be well. You deserve to feel good. And when you are well and you feel good, you will spread that into the world. And that's what we need right now. However you choose to do it, I'm cheering on you. As I started this program myself this morning, again, I was reminded of my therapist who used to say, you teach best what you most have to learn. I'm not there. There's no there. But I'm practicing. And I'm right here with you, practicing every day, baby steps. We can do this. I wish you a beautiful rest of the week. Take really good care. Bye.